Today's lecture is on scenic ecology. After studying about the single species in horticulture, then the study of entire population of a species under population ecology, now we come under studying the plants along with animals and their relative environment. The term we use for this is scenic ecology. Thus, scenic ecology deals with the study of relationship of plants and animals making up a natural community. In scenic ecology, along with plants and animals, the abiotic environment is also considered. As you can see in the picture, the plants and the animals in the different trophic levels, along with the abiotic conditions like the sunlight, the humidity, the rainfall, the nutrient condition in the soil, together constitutes the scenic ecology. Now, what are the characteristics which we study under scenic ecology? There are 7 characteristics. Number 1, species diversity. The more the diverse ecosystem, the more it is stable. Species diversity depends upon the number of plants, microbes, organisms surviving in a special type of ecosystem. Now, next characteristic is coexistence. Coexistence depends upon the inter and intra relationships between the different species surviving in a ecosystem. Next come the interdependency. Sometimes the members in the trophic levels of an ecosystem are so much interdependent upon one another that the death of the one lead to the loss of other species too. Next come the term species dominance. A forest is termed by the name of the species which is dominant in that place, like oak forest, pine forest, and so on. Next terms in the characteristics come is the stratification, that is the growth form and the structure, whether it is a herb, shrub, tree, deciduous forest plant, temperate forest plant, tropical forest plant. Now the 6th one is the succession. How the migration of propagules of seeds of plants took place and they established at a place bare land destroyed by some disasters like floods, fires, etc., and then establishment of one trophic level and succeeding so on, leading to the formation of the climax vegetation along with the organism and the changes in the abiotic conditions. First of all, a barren land, then the establishment of lichen, the death and decaying lichen, changing the nature of the soil and making it more suitable for the growth of moss and then shrubs and then submerged plants, leading to the development of the forest. The climax community makes the complete ecosystem. This entire serial process is known as succession. Now the trophic level structure. As I am discussing that each trophic level is interdependent upon one and another for the transfer of energy and for their food and survival. This is there are producers which are self sufficient in the generation of energy, and the herbivores are dependent upon them. You can see stratification in this figure. Stratification can be of two types, horizontal as well as vertical. In the oceans, the horizontal layering is seen, dividing the zones of the plants as well as the organisms on the basis of penetration of sunlight, limnatic, loantic, and profundal zones. Similarly, on the terrestrial, the plants are stratified as you can see in the figure: desert scrub, short grass prairie, tall grass, then thorn scrub, then thorn forest, and then deciduous forest, then coniferous forest, then tropical rainforest. Each level is demarcated on the height of the plant it gains. Now, there are two important theories for explaining the succession process. Number one is organismic theory given by Clements. According to him, community is the representative of superorganism, that is the highest stage in the organization of the living world, starting from cell, moving to tissue, and then tissue to organ, organ to organ system, and from organ system to species. And as we have species the species we have studied under auticology, and then population under population ecology, and now moving to the community. The community is regarded as the superorganism because community can grow, adjust under any environmental circumstances, reproduce itself, and also represent the higher level of integration. Thus, according to Clements, the community acts as a unit in the succession process. Next was the individualistic theory given by Gleason. He emphasizes that no community reaches any prescribed composition or steady state. Species is the essential unit because it is only the species and not the community which is directly involved in interrelationship and distribution. The species therefore respond to the environmental condition separately. They are not bound together in associates. The plants and animals exhibit a continuous stream from one extreme of environmental condition to the other. So, we regard that both the theories are concluded together and community is regarded as a continuous variable. In my previous lecture, I have told you about the principle of ages in relation to the development of the ecotone, the zone between the two ecosystems, the transition zone or tension zone, likewise the zone between grassland or forest, between grassland and pond, constitutes the ecotone. Ecotone is colonized by species that are found in both the sides, that is both on the grassland side as well as on the forest side. So it has larger variation in its species number. This is known as principle of ages. Due to the wider range of environmental condition persisting in the tension zone or the transition zone, so here the variance is more. As in the picture, you can see ecosystem 1, ecosystem 2. One is of land ecosystem, another aquatic ecosystem, whether it can be a pond. The zone between the two constituting the more number of plants as well as organisms. This marshland constitute the ecotone. So the principle of edges shows that both the theories, that is the organismic theory and individualistic theory, both are compiled together and formed as a continuum system for the explanation of community development. Now, what are the characters we use in the community structure? These are of two kinds: analytical characters and the synthetic characters. Analytical characters, as the word makes it clear, these are expressed in numerals. The 5-point scale is used. From the analytical character, we derive the synthetic character. Moving on to analytical characters, these are of two kinds: quantitative and qualitative one. These are of two kinds: quantitative and qualitative one. Quantity, as the word is clear itself, quantity means the amount, the number. So number can be derived by three important terms by calculating frequency, density or abundance. Frequency can be calculated by the formula: the number of sampling units in which the species occurred when divided by the total number of sampling units we have studied, and both when multiplied by 100 give the frequency percentage. As whenever you calculate percentage of marks, you calculate by the formula marks obtained upon total number of marks multiplied by 100. This is how frequency is calculated for the community. Firstly, the number of sampling units in which a particular species like species A occurred is counted. Then it is divided by the total number of sampling units in which our study is being taken, whole multiplied by 100. This gives the frequency percentage. Next term comes under the category of quantitative character is density. The formula is total. Now the sampling units is not counted. Here we count the total number of individuals of the species in all the sampling units, whole divided by total number of sampling units studied. Now example makes it more clear. There are 5 species of plants: Evolvus, Peristrophy, Cynodon, Euphorbia and Borhavia. The number of sampling plots, that is the total number of plots we have studied, so sampling units we have studied, is 10. Out of 10, Evolvus occurred in 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6 crosses. You have to count the crosses. 6 divided by 10 when multiplied by 100 gives 60%. That is, frequency percentage is 60%. Now second species, Peristrophy. It occurred in 5 sample plots out of 10, so the percentage will be 50%. Now the cynodon, the common grass, occurred in 9 out of 10 sampling plots, so the percentage rises up to 90%. Now moving on to euphorbia. Euphorbia occurred in only 5 plots. So 5 1 divided by 10, it gives percentage 50%. Then the Borhavia, it occurred only in 2 sampling plots. So the frequency percentage is 20. Frequency, density, abundance calculation is also asked in your practical exam. So it is important for that also. Now, again, the second was density. The species evolve was the total number of individuals. Now we have to count the total number of individuals in the sampling units. Sampling units in which they occurred in what number. Like in first sampling unit 5 in number, in second 4 in number, in third 7 in number, in fifth it is 1 in number, in 6 it is 3 in number, in 7 it is 9 in number, in 8 it is 2 in number, in 9 it is 8 in number, and in 10 it is 5 in number. When we add all these, we get total number of individuals of the species evolvers. That comes to 44. 44 when divided by the total number of sampling plots, that is 10, it will give a density of 4.4 plants per meter square. Next, Indigofera. Indigofera, in the second quadrant it has 7 species, in the third it has 6, in the fourth it has 2, and in the fifth it has 2, and in the sixth it has 4, and in the seventh no species counted, and in the eighth 1, and in the ninth 5, and in the 10th no species counted. Total number of species comes out to be 34, and 34 when divided by the total number of sampling units, that is 10 plots, it will give density of 3.4 plants per meter square. And next, moving on to peristrophy. Peristrophy, first quadrant 3 species, second quadrant 1 species, third quadrant 4 species, then 5th, 6th and 7 nil, and then 7th 1, 8th 2, 9 nil, and then 10th 7 entire summed up and gave value of 18. 18 when divided by 10 gives 1.8 plants per meter square. So this table signifies that the density of evolvers in the area studied by us is maximum, and peristrophy has the minimum density over there. Now, third one is the abundance. Abundance is calculated by the formula total number of individuals of the species in all the sampling units when divided by the number of sampling units in which the species occurred. Now, the same formula from the density, only in place of total number of sampling unit studies, we use number of sampling units in which that particular species occurred. So it will give the value of abundancity of particular species like peristrophy, evolvers or cynodon. After calculating frequency, density and abundance, the next quantitative character is cover and basal area. Basal area, as the word itself clear, the underground parts like the roots and some stem parts embedded under the soil surface constitute the basal area, and above the ground the thick stem with its branches, leaves, fruits and flowers constitutes the cover area. Next term is dominance. In that particular area, the plant occupying the maximum density over there forms the dominant species. This diagram shows the underground part, that is the basal area, and the above ground part, that is the cover area. Basal area and the cover area both constituting, and these are calculated and clipped on with the help of scales. Qualitative characters. After knowing all the values of quantitative characters like frequency, density, abundance, basal and cover area, and knowing which species is dominating in a particular community, we move on to qualitative characters. Qualitative characters we will discuss in our next class. Thank you.